Liam, are you insane? Did you really go behind Maya's back and give her bone marrow to Olivia? At a private hospital in the city, Ava stormed into the room, pointing an accusing finger at Liam, who was sitting on the sofa. Liam tilted his head back, a frown on his handsome face, his voice laced with helplessness. Ava. Maya was the only successful match for Olivia. I had no other choice. Ava snatched Maya's half-year-long hospital report from the table, her anger boiling over. No other choice. You knew Maya's health was poor, yet you lied to her, telling her she was hospitalized for a stomach issue, and made her take this risk. I don't get it. Did Olivia cast some spell on you? You were paralyzed for 5 years because you got into a racing accident trying to impress her. And for those 5 years, it was Maya who was by your side. Now you're healed, and Olivia gets sick and is dumped. So she comes back to the country. You go behind Maya's back and give her bone marrow to Olivia. And as soon as Olivia is better, you're helping her with IVF. Outside the door, Maya, who had just completed her discharge paperwork, heard Ava's furious words. Her hand, resting against the wall, tightened. The smile on her face froze, and she felt as if she had been plunged into an icy abyss. Half an hour ago, her doctor had informed her that the post-operative infection from her stomach issue had completely healed and she could be discharged. Liam had proposed to her on the spot. She had cried with joy and even posted on social media that it was the happiest day of her life. Inside the room, Liam's head was bowed, his dark hair obscuring his eyes, his expression unreadable. Ava, please keep this quiet. Don't let Maya know. Olivia's grandmother doesn't have much time left. Her only wish is to hold her grandchild. I don't want her to have any regrets. Ava's eyes widened, her beautiful, delicate face contorted with rage. And what about Maya? Everyone in our circle knows she's been in love with you for 8 years. I remember it clearly. 8 years ago, Olivia confessed her feelings to the second son of the Carter family and was rejected. To get back at him for her, you deliberately got close to Maya, who the Carter boy liked, just to spite him. Now Olivia is pregnant. Maya has been with you for 8 years. What is she supposed to do? Liam's eyes were downcast. After a long moment, he spoke, his voice hoarse. I have it all planned. Maya will never know about Olivia's pregnancy. As for the future, I've gotten used to having her around these past 8 years. I will marry her. Maya didn't hear the rest. A nurse was heading towards the room. Maya lowered her head, pretending she had just returned. The two inside the room exchanged a look, and Ava pulled Liam out. On the way home, Liam discussed the wedding details with Maya, but she didn't hear a single word. She stared out the window at the receding skyscrapers, a chill spreading through her. She had first met Liam when she was 15, at a party hosted by her parents and their business partners. A single glance at the cool, refined young man was all it took for his image to be seared into her mind. At 16, under the alias Ghost, she had saved his life in a street race, marking the beginning of a long, secret love. At 20, a boy named Ethan Carter pursued her. That same year, Liam attended a party with her friends and added her on a messaging app. She had been ecstatic all night. That year, she also learned that Liam had a childhood friend, Olivia. But Olivia was a free spirit, had had a dozen boyfriends, and had never been interested in Liam. At 21, Liam confessed his feelings for her, and she agreed to be with him. At 22, Liam had a racing accident and was rushed to the hospital. The next day, the doctors declared he would be paralyzed. That year, the paralyzed Liam became a different person, moody and volatile. Out of her love for him, she had refused to move abroad with her parents, choosing to stay and take care of him. At 27, Liam's legs had healed. His grandfather announced that he would be taking over the family business. The young man was at the height of his success. That same year, she had unexpectedly fainted at home. When she woke up, the doctor told her she had a stomach condition and needed surgery. Looking back now, the sweet romance she thought had fallen into her lap had been filled with lies from the very beginning. All the blood they had drawn from her in the hospital half a year ago, which Liam had claimed was for tests, had been a lie to get her to donate bone marrow to Olivia. The Bentley slowly pulled into the villa's driveway. At midnight, Liam's phone rang. Maya glanced at the caller ID. Cutie pie Olivia. Liam swiped to decline the call. His long fingers tapped on the screen, and a moment later, he got up and hurried out. Maya walked to the window. In the endless darkness, the Bentley's taillights disappeared into the distance. Maya dialed her mother's number. "Mom, I've made up my mind. I'll agree to the marriage alliance with the Hudson family. 7 days from now, the moment I land at the airport, I'll register our marriage." Her mother, probably guessing what her daughter had been through, offered a few words of comfort before patiently laying out the facts. "Are you sure, Maya? The Lin family is not what it used to be. This marriage alliance is not a game. The Hudsons and the Fords are miles apart, but our families have been rivals for generations. Once you marry into the Hudson family, they will likely demand that you cut all ties with the Fords." On the other end of the line, Maya's eyes were downcast. 6 years ago, her family's business had expanded, and they had relocated their company and their lives abroad. But not long after, the family business ran into a financial crisis. The Hudson family, who were also based abroad, had repeatedly expressed their interest in a marriage alliance. But her parents, knowing she was in love with Liam, had never considered sacrificing her happiness for the company. Now, she no longer wanted any connection to Liam. Marrying into the Hudson family was the best option. "Mom, I'm sure. I never want to see Liam again in my life." Her mother was silent for a few seconds before saying, "All right, your father and I will go to the Hudsons tomorrow to discuss the marriage." Maya didn't sleep all night. The next morning, Liam didn't come home, only sending a text. "Maya, something came up at the company. I'll be out of town for 3 days." Maya didn't reply. She booked a flight to Country A for 7 days later. She began to pack her things. She had been living with Liam for years, and she had a lot of stuff. With her family's financial situation, she listed everything she could sell online. That evening, a message from a stranger popped up on her social media. "Hi, Maya." Maya opened it. The profile picture was a positive pregnancy test, and the username was Olivia in Bliss. This was a new, private account Olivia had created. She didn't dare to announce her pregnancy publicly, and Maya was her only follower. A minute later, Olivia shared a new video with her. It was a picture of Liam accompanying her for a prenatal check. Up, the caption read, "Hee a gentle, considerate, and super rich daddy, too." Maya saw through her little game, liked the post, and commented, "You got my bone marrow. Got better. And now you're here to provoke me. Olivia, does human blood taste good?" The next day, Maya went to say goodbye to her best friends and, on the way, dropped off her luxury goods with the buyers. On her way home, she received a second video from Olivia. It was a few pictures of Liam helping her pick out maternity clothes. Pink, white, every dress was beautiful. Maya scrolled back to the previous video. Olivia had replied to her comment, her tone arrogant. "It's not like I asked you to donate. Liam was worried about me and forced me to accept it." Maya sneered and replied with a. The third day, Maya sold all the gifts she had given Liam over the years. The dozens of shirts, shoes, and watches. Olivia posted a new video. This time, it was of the expensive postpartum center Liam had booked for her. Her arrogant caption read, "What can I say? I was born lucky." In the afternoon, Liam finally returned. He looked at the somewhat empty bedroom and the new pink suitcase. His brow furrowed. "Why is the house so empty? And where are the shirts I gave you? Why did you suddenly buy a suitcase?" Maya's eyes were downcast as she made up an excuse. "Those shirts are out of style, so I threw them away. I was thinking of going on a trip, but I changed my mind." Liam, thinking she was angry that he had been gone for 3 days, took out a pre-ordered contract for a limited edition Lamborghini. "I've been busy with work. I ordered you a new sports car. We can go pick it up together." Maya looked at the contract. Unlike other women, she didn't care for bags. Her only love was for sports cars. This Lamborghini was one she had recently been eyeing. The custom black and pink color was her favorite. Even the seats were upholstered with her favorite cartoon character, Doraemon. For 8 years, Liam had remembered every single one of her preferences. If she hadn't overheard his conversation with Ava at the hospital, she would have been very moved. "Thank you." Maya placed the contract aside. Liam frowned and leaned in, pinching her pale cheek. "Still angry? There's a party tonight. I'll take you out to have some fun. Maya was about to refuse, but Liam had already taken her hand and led her downstairs. Not long after the Bentley started moving, Liam's phone rang. It was Cutie Pie Olivia. Maya couldn't hear what was said. Only a faint, "Liam." Sob, sob. "Help me." Liam's handsome face tensed. He tapped on his screen, pulled up Olivia's real-time location from some app, and quickly turned the car around. Change of plans. Olivia's been kidnapped. I have to go save her. Liam drove at a breakneck speed, running over a dozen red lights. 20 minutes later, he confirmed Olivia was in the black sedan ahead. He narrowed his eyes and floored the gas. Crash. The back of the black sedan was instantly crumpled. At the same time, the Bentley's passenger side was rammed by another car. Part of the kidnapping crew. Maya couldn't dodge in time. Her head slammed against the window, and blood immediately started to flow. The bright red blood trickled from her scalp down her pale cheek. The heavy, throbbing pain in her head was like thousands of needles piercing her heart. She was in so much pain she couldn't speak. Despite the severe impact on the passenger side, Liam didn't even glance at Maya. His eyes were fixed on Olivia in the other car. After ramming the black car 3 times, it was forced to a stop. The people inside quickly scrambled into their accomplice's car. Liam threw open his door, pulled Olivia from the back seat, and for the first time, a look of genuine panic crossed his dark eyes. "Are you scared? Are you hurt anywhere?" Olivia, in Liam's arms, turned her head to show her reddened cheek, crying piteously. "It was my father's business rivals. They just slapped me once. It's nothing serious." Her appearance made Liam's heart ache with pity. He roared, "What do you mean? Nothing serious? Even when you were abroad, you were always spoiled and pampered by me. You've never been through something like this. And the baby. What if something happened to the baby?" Sob, sob. "It's all your fault for being so late. I was so scared." "Don't be scared. It was my fault. I'll take you for a full check. Up right now." Liam placed Olivia in the back seat of the Bentley. It took him only 5 minutes to get to the hospital. He got out, carried Olivia, and rushed to the emergency room. He never once noticed that Maya, in the passenger seat, her eyes red, was bleeding profusely from her head. Maya watched them leave. She tilted her head back to stop the tears from falling. Then, fighting through the pain, she pushed open the car door and stumbled towards the hospital entrance. A heavy rain began to fall. Maya didn't even try to shield herself, letting the rain wash over her wound. The nurse at the triage desk gasped when she saw Maya and immediately started treating her wound, then took her for a check. Up. An hour later, Maya, weak and dizzy, had finished her examination and finally had a chance to check her phone. The screen showed over a dozen missed calls, all from Liam. Without hesitation, she turned off her phone, knowing she would be on in 4 drip until late at night. Maya had the nurse get her a private room. In a daze, she drifted back in time. After Liam was paralyzed, she had attended all his work-related social events in his place. Once, at a dinner, 2 CEOs had gotten into a heated argument and flipped the table. The dishes had shattered, and a piece of broken ceramic had flown up and cut her wrist. When Liam found out, he had rushed over, had his assistant immediately sever all business ties with the 2 companies, and then anxiously took her to the hospital to have the wound cleaned. She had thought he was overreacting, but he had gently soothed her. "Maya, you are the most important woman in my life. Besides childbirth, I never want to see a single wound on you. A girl should be fair and flawless. That's how she looks beautiful in clothes and jewelry." Now, her face was covered in blood. Yet he had ignored her for another woman. He had said he never wanted to see her hurt. Yet he had let her risk her life to donate bone marrow to someone else. Even marriage and children. He had done it all in secret with someone else. Before falling asleep, Maya saw that Olivia and Bliss had shared a new video. It was of Liam, kneeling to wash her feet, to coax her to sleep. Maya watched it several times, a growing sense of panic in her chest. She couldn't sleep all night. The next morning, Maya reluctantly went home. As she entered the villa, the butler, Uncle Chin, greeted her with a worried expression. "Madam, the master is waiting for you by the pool. He's not in a good mood." Maya walked towards the pool and saw Liam comforting Olivia from a distance. Olivia was sobbing softly, looking pitiful. When Liam saw Maya finally return, his anger was palpable, a chilling aura emanating from him. Did you deliberately leak Olivia's whereabouts to her father's rivals? Maya stopped in her tracks. She looked at Olivia on the sofa. The girl tilted her head and gave her a triumphant smirk. Maya instantly understood and rubbed her temples in frustration. I don't even know who her father's rivals are. How could I have leaked her location? Liam's face was dark. He threw a stack of photos in front of Maya. Then how do you explain these pictures of you meeting with Uncle Miller's rivals? Maya glanced at the photos on the table, her face turning cold. These were from a few days ago, when she was selling her second-hand luxury goods. The pictures were of her meeting a buyer in a coffee shop. No wonder the man had been so quick to agree to the price, without any haggling, and had only insisted on meeting in a coffee shop. Seeing Maya's silence, Liam took it as an admission of guilt. His handsome face was terrifyingly dark. Haven't I told you? No matter what rumors you hear about me and Olivia, we are innocent. We have no relationship. I've always seen Olivia as a sister. She's a very kind person. And you and I have been together for 8 years. You should know in your heart how I've treated you. And I just proposed to you a few days ago. How could you hurt her and make things difficult for her like this? Hearing his words, Maya's heart felt as if it were being pricked by needles. In the 8 years they had been together, 1 year was him pursuing her to get back at someone else, and 5 years were her taking care of him while he was paralyzed. During those 5 years, he had been moody, had broken down, had cried in the middle of the night, and all of it was because he had gotten into a life-threatening race to satisfy Olivia's vanity. Yet all the pain caused by Olivia, he had completely forgotten. During those 5 years, to help him recover, she had secretly enrolled in a physical therapy course, massaging his legs every single day without fail. He was often depressed, so she had consulted the best psychologist in the city to learn how to comfort a disabled patient. All her efforts, he didn't remember a single one. How ironic. Maya really wanted to ask him, if he only saw Olivia as a sister, why was he now helping his sister with IVF? Yes. I've only just realized in the past few days how you've treated me, and how you've treated her. Liam's face tightened. What are you trying to say? Maya didn't want to argue with him. She pointed to the bandage on her head and gave a self-deprecating smile. Yesterday, when she was kidnapped, I was also injured. I got 5 stitches. Am I stupid enough to get myself hurt just to harm her? Even though Maya pointed out her own injury, Liam, who was now completely focused on Olivia, still didn't believe her. Maya looked at the man's tense jawline and was glad she would be leaving in 3 days. Liam, since you're convinced I did it, tell me, how do you want to resolve this? It's not that I don't believe you. It's that I've known Olivia for 16 years and 7 months, and she has never lied to anyone. After a pause, Liam frowned, ready to put the matter to rest. Maya, you made Olivia cry. You're responsible for making her happy again. At that moment, Olivia, who had been crying softly, threw the ring she was wearing into the pool. She gasped, Liam, the ring you gave me accidentally fell into the pool. Then, Olivia looked at Maya. Her red lips curved into a high, provocative smile. How about this? You don't have to comfort me. Just get that ring, and I'll forgive you for everything you've done to hurt me. It was the beginning of winter, and the pool water was icy cold. Maya's head wound had not yet healed. She looked at Liam, who was sitting down. His head was bowed, his eyes hidden. His long fingers tapped lightly on the table. He never once looked at her. In that moment, Maya felt something sharp pierce her heart. A dense, throbbing pain. She suddenly remembered. 6 months after Liam was diagnosed as paralyzed, his grandfather had come to the hospital to see him. Realizing there was little hope of recovery, he had started to consider other heirs. That night, Liam disappeared from his room. When Maya found him, he was in his wheelchair, heading into the turbulent sea, the cold water already up to his chest. Maya, terrified, had tried to persuade him to come back, but he had pushed her away. Stop pretending to care about me. You're just my girlfriend, not my wife. If you really want to be in charge, the wind and waves are strong right now. You swim a lap, and I'll listen to you from now on. Maya had stared at him, stunned. She really wanted to tell him that she wasn't pretending, that she really did want to be his wife. So, even though she couldn't swim, she hadn't hesitated. She had thrown herself into the sea. The waves were high, The wind was strong. She was quickly pulled under and lost consciousness. When she opened her eyes again, she was looking into Liam's worried dark eyes. His face was pale, his jaw tight. "Why didn't you tell me you can't swim? Are you crazy? You can't swim. And you still jumped into the sea." She looked up at him, her voice hoarse. "Liam, even if your legs never heal, I still want to marry you. I really like you more than you know." From that day on, Liam never took her to the beach again. He even forbade the pool at home from being filled with water. It was only because she thought an empty pool was strange that he had finally relented and had the servants fill and change the water daily. Thinking of this, Maya's lips curved into a bitter smile. Her face was emotionless. "You want me to get the ring? Fine. I'll get it." With that, without even taking off her coat, Maya jumped into the pool. The icy water soaked through her skin, making her shiver. Maya slowly sank, an overwhelming fear enveloping her. But she gritted her teeth and didn't call for help. Soon, a trail of red blood spread through the pool. The butler cried out, "Oh my God, Madam's head is bleeding." Liam threw off his coat and jumped into the pool, pulling Maya out. He roared, "That's enough. Why are you so stubborn? Couldn't you have just walked away?" Maya tilted her head back and looked at the diamond ring at the bottom of the pool, her voice cold. "Didn't you want me to make her happy? With the way I am now, your white moonlight should be very satisfied, right?" Liam frowned, his handsome face now terrifyingly dark. "How many times do I have to tell you? I really only see Olivia as a sister. The Miller family is well respected in this city. What if what you did gets out? Do you think it's so easy to control public opinion these days? I asked you to comfort her, to calm her down. Everything I did was for your own good." Liam's voice was full of affection, as if everything he did was for her sake. But hearing him, Maya couldn't help but laugh. A bitter, angry laugh. He said it wasn't easy to control public opinion when the heir to the great Ford family was paralyzed in a race for Olivia. Hadn't that been successfully suppressed? Olivia was a troublemaker, a bully who preyed on the weak. The Miller family had a bad reputation. Hadn't they been relying on Liam's support all these years to get by? Even their IVF. Hadn't he kept that a secret? And now, even if she was the one who had arranged the kidnapping, he was telling her it wasn't easy to control public opinion. In the end, it was just that she was far less important to him than Olivia. Maya didn't want to say another word to Liam. She took off her soaked black coat and walked towards the living room. She had only taken a few steps when, perhaps due to blood loss, she suddenly fainted. Liam's face changed. He quickly walked towards her, about to catch her. But then Olivia suddenly bent down, clutching her stomach, crying piteously. "Liam, my stomach hurts so much. Help me upstairs to lie down." Liam's steps faltered. He retracted the hand that was about to catch Maya and instead scooped Olivia into his arms. He let Maya's head hit the ground hard and, looking at the butler, said only, "Uncle Chin, take Madam to the hospital." When Maya woke up again, she was looking into a pair of worried dark eyes. Seeing her awake, Liam immediately called for a doctor. After confirming she was all right, he breathed a sigh of relief. Maya noticed a string of prayer beads on her left wrist. It looked like the one Liam always wore. The assistant smiled at her. "Madam, you were unconscious for a long time. Mr. Ford was so worried. He even gave you the prayer beads he's worn for over a decade. He even swore to the heavens last night that if you woke up safely, he would become a vegetarian and give up smoking and drinking for the rest of his life." Maya frowned and, with a look of disgust, took off the beads and handed them to Liam. "You don't have to change your habits for me." Liam didn't take them. He put the beads back on her wrist and said softly, "Maya, when I was paralyzed, didn't you make a similar vow?" Maya's heart trembled. In the second year of Liam's paralysis, she had heard that a temple in the city was very efficacious. She had taken him there overnight to make a wish. That day, before the Buddha, she had vowed, "I will give everything I have in exchange for Liam's health." And Liam had also made a wish, to marry her in 5 years. At the time, she had cried seeing the wish he had written. He had held her and comforted her for a long time. That was one of the few times when Liam's eyes were only for her. In the end, it was only when Olivia was not around that Liam's eyes were on her. Now that Olivia was back, his focus would never be on her again. Maya looked at Liam's handsome face, which was seeking praise, and her eyes were downcast. "I'm a little tired." When she woke up again, it was already afternoon. Maya got up, wanting to ask the doctor when she could be discharged. Before she could open the door, she heard Liam and Ava talking in the hallway. "When are you and Maya planning to get married?" Ava's questioning voice sounded. Liam's eyes narrowed, and he said flatly, "I've already proposed to her. I plan to have the wedding at the end of the month." Ava nodded and reminded him, "This wedding has to be grand. You set the betrothal gift, and it can only be more, not less. Maya has already donated bone marrow to your little childhood friend. We can't let her be changed on the betrothal gift." As if remembering something, Ava's tone changed. "Speaking of which, you're getting married this month. And I heard our rival, the Hudson family, is also getting married soon. The bride is also named Maya." Hearing this, Maya quickly pushed the door open. She coughed twice, and the two of them instantly stopped talking. That night, the doctor announced she could be discharged. After returning home, Maya received a friend request. The person had sent 3 words: Caleb Hudson. Maya blinked, thinking it might be the man she was supposed to marry. She accepted the request. The moment she accepted, he sent her a list of betrothal gifts, a whole notebook filled with a dense list of items. Maya scanned it briefly and felt overwhelmed. Then, Caleb sent 2 more messages. "This is the list of betrothal gifts. See if you're satisfied. I heard from your aunt that your flight is the day after tomorrow, and you'll arrive at the airport the morning after that. Your aunt and I will be there to pick you up." Maya thought for a few seconds and replied, "The gifts are more than enough. Thank you." He didn't reply. All night, Liam tried to make conversation with Maya, but she was not in the mood. Liam, thinking she was still angry about what had happened, had his assistant arrange a pre-wedding bachelor party for the next day. The next day, everyone in their circle knew it was Liam's bachelor party. Many people came that night. The moment Maya arrived, Liam put his arm around her waist and took out 2 car contracts. He first handed one to Maya, his dark eyes deep. "I felt the last sports car wasn't good enough for you. I ordered you a new one these past couple of days." After a pause, he handed the original Lamborghini contract to a pitiful-looking Olivia, who was standing nearby, and said softly, "Olivia, this car was originally for your sister-in-law. Now that she has a new one, this one is for you. I'm sorry it's not much." Olivia ecstatically took the contract, a smile she could hardly contain spreading across her face. "It's all right. Today is all about my sister-in-law." That's what she said. But anyone could see that the Lamborghini Liam had given Olivia was a limited national edition. The new sports car he had bought for Maya was just an ordinary, slightly more expensive model. A guest couldn't help but whisper, "Is Liam really marrying Maya? This is their bachelor party. Why is he giving a gift to Olivia? He's just making excuses to give that limited edition Lamborghini to Olivia." Everyone knows Maya loves cars. Isn't what Olivia is doing just disgusting? Shoo. I heard Olivia is an amazing racer. I have a source that says she's the famous racer, Ghost. Liam started to like her because Ghost saved his life at a race. Maya sat in a corner, quietly listening to everyone's discussion, a small frown on her face. "Ghost, isn't that me?" Before Maya could think further, many people, having assessed the situation, walked over to Olivia with their wine glasses, showering her with compliments. "Olivia, Liam is so good to you, giving you such an expensive sports car just like that. This white dress looks so good on you. You look like a real princess. I heard you're an amazing racer. You're so versatile, a perfect match for Liam." More and more people went to flatter Olivia, completely forgetting that today's protagonist was Maya. An hour later, the atmosphere livened up, and people started singing and playing games. Liam sat next to Olivia the whole time, his gaze never leaving her. When Olivia wanted to eat crab, Liam patiently coaxed her in a low voice. "Be good. You can't eat that while you're pregnant. I'll buy it for you after the baby is born." Olivia, her eyes red, was about to throw a tantrum. Liam sighed and took an unlimited black card from his wallet and handed it to her. The black card immediately caused a stir. Could it be that Liam is still not over Olivia? Sigh. They say the current girlfriend can never beat the white moonlight. It's true. Amidst the discussion, Maya sat quietly in a corner. She was playing on her phone. as if the lively scene around her had nothing to do with her. Olivia scanned the room, her gaze landing on Maya in the corner. She walked over in her high heels, her face full of pride. Today is your and Liam's bachelor party. But I've stolen the show. Everyone is fawning over me. You must be very unhappy, right? But no matter how unhappy you are, you just have to grit your teeth and bear it. So, what if you were with Liam through his hardest 5 years? The moment I appear, I'm still the one he loves most. Maya knew Olivia was trying to provoke her, but her tears had all been shed on the day she was discharged from the hospital. Seeing her indifference, a cold glint flashed in Olivia's eyes. Her gaze fell on the jade bracelet on Maya's wrist, and a flicker of jealousy crossed her face. She suddenly snatched it. Are you crazy? What are you doing? Maya reached for it, but Olivia held on tight. She caressed the jade bracelet, her eyes filled with jealousy and unwillingness. I heard this was a gift from Mrs. Ford for her future daughter. In-law. Maya stared at her, about to speak, when she saw Olivia suddenly shove the bracelet into her mouth, deliberately tearing the corner of her lip and drawing blood. The bright red blood dripped from her mouth. Olivia weakly fell to the ground, the jade bracelet clattering to the floor. She looked up, crying, "Sister, in-law, I just thought the bracelet from Auntie Ford was beautiful. Why did you shove it in my mouth? It hurts so much." Before Maya could react, a black figure appeared, and she was pushed hard. Maya lost her balance and fell, hitting the table with the giant celebration cake. Her head wound reopened, and blood started to seep out. The cake slid onto her, sticky and messy. Maya, her eyes red with pain, looked up at Liam, who had rushed over. He didn't even glance at her. He took out a handkerchief and gently wiped the blood from Olivia's mouth. His dark eyes filled with a deep concern. Maya finally understood what kind of act Olivia was putting on. She wiped the sticky cream from her face, picked up the jade bracelet from the floor, and handed it to Olivia, just as Liam, thinking she was trying to provoke Olivia, was about to lose his temper. Maya grabbed Olivia's wrist and put the bracelet on her. "Auntie Ford gave it to me. You like it so much, right? Then it's yours." Olivia looked up, stunned, forgetting to pretend to be pitiful. Liam frowned, not understanding what Maya was trying to do. "That was a birthday gift from my mother to you. Only the Ford family's daughter, in-law, can wear it." Maya stood up, her voice cold. She touched it. "It's dirty. I don't want it anymore." With that, she turned and, regardless of the expressions on their faces, limped out. Behind her, Liam watched her cold, retreating back, his handsome face turning grim. Late at night, Liam finally came home. He got ready for bed, slipped under the covers, and looked at Maya, who had her back to him. He sighed. "Don't be angry. And don't always pick on Olivia. She respects you and likes you as a sister. In-law. Olivia said she wants to get on good terms with you. She'll be staying with us for a few days. Please don't bully her during this time." Maya, with her eyes closed, didn't reply, her voice calm. "If, and I'm just saying if, Olivia wasn't ghost, would you still be so good to her?" Liam gently stroked Maya's head, his voice hoarse. "She's my sister. I'm good to her because she's Olivia. It has nothing to do with whether she's ghost or not." "Okay." Maya's eyes were downcast as she gave a faint reply. "Anyway, it's just one more day. She only has to stay here for one more day." The next morning, as soon as Maya woke up, she heard the sound of sweet laughter from the second floor. She got up and walked out, and from a distance, she saw Liam on the second floor landing, teaching Olivia how to arrange flowers. They were standing very close, and Liam was gently showing her how to trim different types of flowers. Watching the warm scene, Maya felt a sense of disorientation. When Liam was paralyzed, she had worried he would be bored and had taken up flower arranging to teach him. He was a quick learner. She had only had to show him once, and he had mastered it. Later, he would have his assistant order flowers, and the first thing he did every morning was to arrange a bouquet and place it by her bed. But ever since Olivia returned, he seemed to have stopped doing that. Maya's eyelashes drooped, hiding the loneliness in her eyes. She walked downstairs, ready to have breakfast, but she had only taken a few steps when a heavy vase crashed down, knocking her to the ground. Bang! Her skull fractured instantly. Blood flowed from her head, and she curled up on the floor in agony. In a daze, She saw Olivia slowly walk down from the second floor, a wide smile on her face. "Oh dear, sister-in-law. I just wanted to show you the flowers I arranged, but my hand slipped and I dropped it on your head. What should I do? You're bleeding so much. It's so scary. Should I call an ambulance for you? But I'm so scared I can't even hold my phone. You won't blame me, will you, sister-in-law? Just hold on a little longer." Maya fainted before she could hear the rest. Later, it was a servant who found her, and after a moment of shock, rushed her to the hospital. When she woke up again, it was already noon. Maya's head had been stitched with 30 stitches. A gruesome sight. The doctor said she had a mild concussion and temporary blindness in her right eye. Liam stood by her bed, leaning over to ask if she was in pain, then gently helped her up to drink some water. His actions were caring, but his words were in defense of Olivia. Olivia knows she was wrong. She's very remorseful. She almost fainted from guilt just now. A paparazzo took a picture of you being brought to the hospital. Now everyone is waiting for you to clarify. Maya, just tell the public that you accidentally fell and hurt your head. That way, the Miller family will also owe you a favor. You know, Olivia is ghost. She saved my life. Maya turned her back to him and pulled the covers over her head. Whether it was the physical pain or the emotional pain, Maya, huddled under the covers, began to cry. She remembered when she used to be sick, with a low fever that would come and go. Liam had hired 3 private doctors to be on call for her 247. When she had menstrual cramps, he would comfort her all day, making sure she stayed in bed and had everything she needed. Now, the person before her was not the person he used to be. Liam noticed Maya's soft sobs and his heart ached. He was about to comfort her when a nurse rushed in. "Mr. Ford, the young lady who came with you this morning suddenly fainted from crying. Would you like to go check on her?" Hearing that Olivia had fainted, Liam forgot all about Maya and rushed out. Soon, the room was quiet again, with only Maya left. 10 minutes later, her phone vibrated. It was a text from Olivia in bliss. "So, what if you have 30 stitches in your head and you're blind in one eye? I don't even have to cry. And he comes running to me. Maya, I disappeared for a few years, came back and said I wanted to have his child. And he agreed. Tell me, how could he not love me?" Not long after, Maya received another video from Olivia. Liam was comforting a sobbing Olivia, his own eyes red with pity. "Be good. Don't blame yourself. I told you I would always protect you. Maya just has a head injury. It's not a big deal. She won't tell anyone you hit her. You're pregnant now. You need to take care of yourself. Don't worry about these little things." After watching the video, Maya's fingers dug into her palms. She forced herself to get up and leave the hospital alone. With only 6 hours left before her departure, Maya went to the temple and cut down the wish she had written with her own hands. The one that said, "I want to marry Liam." The wind in the temple was cold. The 2 wishes Liam had written that day blew into her hands. Maya picked them up and glanced at them. The first wish, to marry Maya in 5 years. The second wish, as long as you come back, I will always choose you. Maya looked at the wishes and sneered. "Congratulations, Liam. You got your wish." Soon, Maya returned to the villa. Her phone was still buzzing with provocative messages from Olivia. Maya only glanced at it. She sat at her desk and slowly wrote a farewell letter, enclosing a picture of Ghost. Then, she took her suitcase and went downstairs. Maya placed the engagement ring Liam had given her in a gray velvet box and handed it to the butler. "When Liam comes back, please give this to him, and tell him there's a letter for him on his desk." The butler saw her taking off the ring and guessed what was happening. He was shocked. "Madam, thank you for your care all these years. Uncle Chin, I hope we meet again." Maya waved her hand and, pulling her suitcase, hailed a cab to the airport. An hour later, at the airport gate, her best friend, Chloe, said a reluctant goodbye. "Maya, once you leave, don't come back. Take care of yourself abroad, and never have anything to do with that scumbag Liam again." Maya, her eyes red, hugged Chloe. She looked at the city and tilted her chin up slightly. "Goodbye, city. Goodbye forever, Liam." The next day, Liam spent the entire day in Olivia's hospital room. He coaxed her to get her check. UPS. Coaxed her to take her medicine. Even though Maya's room was just one floor below, he never once went to see her. That evening, Olivia insisted on being discharged. Liam took her back to the villa and patiently put her to bed. When he finally came downstairs, the butler handed him the gray velvet box. Stammering, "Madam came back yesterday. She asked me to give this to you." Liam took the box, his expression dark. "She was discharged. Didn't I tell her to stay in the hospital and rest? Why did she come home? Is she throwing another tantrum? Didn't I tell her? Olivia and I are innocent. I just see her as a sister." The velvet box opened, revealing the engagement ring. Liam was stunned. The butler added softly, "Madam also said she left a letter for you in the study on the second floor." Liam loosened his tie, a strange sense of unease creeping over him. He walked upstairs to the study. There was indeed a letter on the desk. The words, "Farewell letter," caught his eye, and he had a bad premonition. Liam read the letter from beginning to end. His mind exploded, and an unprecedented wave of panic washed over him. "It's over." Maya overheard his conversation with Ava at the hospital. The carefully constructed web of lies had been torn apart. Liam, at a loss, was about to call Maya when his eyes fell on a photo on the desk. A young girl in a red racing suit, sitting casually in a race car. She had taken off her mask and was holding up a peace sign, a wide, carefree smile on her face. Wait, that face. Ghost. So, Maya is the one who saved his life at the race. The ghost he had been trying to repay all this time. Impossible. Liam's hand trembled as he dialed Maya's number. A cold, mechanical voice answered. "The number you have dialed has been disconnected." Undeterred, Liam sent her a message on her messaging app. Her account had also been deleted. He tried every way he could think of to contact her, but to no avail. Finally, Liam called her best friend, Chloe. After being hung up on 3 times, the call finally went through. On the other end, Chloe was sitting on her sofa, watching TV, annoyed by the repeated interruptions. Her tone was sharp. "Mr. Ford, to what do I owe the honor?" Liam ignored her sarcasm and asked directly, "Is Maya ghost?" "Huh." Chloe let out a cold laugh. "Liam, don't tell me you're only just now finding out that Maya is ghost." Liam frowned. "She never told me." Chloe almost laughed in his face. "In all these years, all your attention has been on Olivia. When have you ever truly cared about Maya?" Liam stared at the disconnected call, his dark eyes filled with panic. 12 years ago, Olivia had confessed to him, claiming she was the ghost he was looking for. When Olivia recounted the details of that day at the race, and given that they had known each other since childhood, he had naturally believed her. And from the moment he met Maya, although he knew she loved sports cars, he had never noticed that she also raced. Thinking back, on the day the doctors had declared his legs healed, he had stood up and embraced Maya, saying with deep emotion, "Maya, thank you for saving my life." Without Maya's constant care, he might not have made it to that day. At the time, Maya had given him a sly smile, including this time. "I've saved your life twice." He had wanted to ask for more details, but then Olivia had called, interrupting his train of thought. The realization that he had been deceived for 12 years made Liam's blood boil. He strode to the adjacent guest room and shook the sleeping Olivia awake. In her drowsy state, Liam threw the picture of ghost in her face, his hand tightening around her delicate neck. "Olivia, how dare you lie to me?" Olivia, who had been half asleep, looked at the furious Liam before her and, guessing what had happened, frantically picked up the scattered photos. When she saw them, a look of intense jealousy crossed her face, and she forgot to even pretend. Impossible. A trashy woman like Maya could never be the great ghost. At that time, Ghost, though only 16, was already a legendary figure among the city's racers. Liam leaned in close, his dark eyes burning with a fierce fire. "I've confirmed it. Maya is Ghost, and Ghost is Maya. Olivia, you've made a fool of me." That day at the race, Ghost had been in the same group as him. His car had been sabotaged by a rival and had caught fire. Ghost, who was about to win first place, had given up the $1 million prize, turned around, and risked her life to save him. After pulling him from the wreckage, Ghost had arrogantly tilted her chin at him. "Hey, I saved your life. You'd better remember to repay me." He had remembered that for 12 long years. But he had been repaying the wrong person. At this thought, Liam coldly pushed the sobbing Olivia away and gave a cold order. Olivia, you will move back to your family's house now. Ignoring Olivia's pleas, Liam had the butler escort her out. Then, he called his assistant, his voice grim and icy. Investigate Olivia's kidnapping. And the party that day. At an airport in Country A. The plane landed. Maya put on a hat to cover the medical bandage on her head. At the exit, her parents were already waiting for her. Beside them stood a handsome, distinguished-looking stranger in a gray suit. After a long separation, her mother's kind face was filled with an unconcealable joy. Come, Maya, let me introduce you. This is Caleb Hudson. Maya studied her fiancé. The warm lights cast a glow on him, highlighting his sharp, elegant features. His thin lips were pressed together in a faint smile, yet he exuded a sense of detachment. Hello, I'm Maya, she said softly. Caleb's dark eyes narrowed. He looked her over, his sharp gaze lingering on her hat for a moment before he finally spoke. Caleb Hudson, your fiancé. An hour later, a black sedan pulled up in front of the Civil Affairs Bureau. Caleb's parents were already waiting at the entrance. When his mother saw Maya, her face lit up with a smile she couldn't hide. The daughter-in-law her son had chosen was tall and slender, with fair, delicate skin. She was even more beautiful in person than in the pictures, clearly well raised. The more she looked, the more satisfied she was. She generously took off the jade bracelet from her wrist. Maya, this was given to me by Caleb's grandmother when I married his father. Now, I'm passing it on to you. Maya could tell the quality of the jade at a glance and was a little overwhelmed. Just as she was about to refuse, Caleb spoke, his thin lips barely moving. It's a gift from my mother. You should accept it. Only then did Maya accept it. Caleb's father then spoke up. I've had my secretary transfer some of the Hudson family's shares to your name. Maya. He said it so casually, as if he were just giving her a small sum of money. But Maya knew the value of the Hudson family shares. The Hudsons were a rapidly growing power in the business world. These shares were worth far more than the jade bracelet. Thank you, Uncle and Auntie. Maya's eyes reddened with emotion. Receiving two such generous gifts on their first meeting was a clear sign of how much the Hudsons valued her. She remembered when Liam's mother had given her a jade bracelet, but she knew she had earned that by taking care of the paralyzed Liam for 5 long years. With her own family's business in decline, Liam's parents had always felt she was not quite good enough. They had privately expressed their hope that Liam would marry the eldest daughter of the Cole family to secure his position. Let's go. Let's go get registered, Caleb reminded her. Okay. Maya followed Caleb into the Civil Affairs Bureau. 15 minutes later, it was done. Maya looked down at the marriage certificate in her hand. A little dazed, Caleb said, I've bought a villa in the city as our marital home. I just sent you the address and the door code. The property deed is in your name only. You've just come back, so you should stay with your parents for the next 3 days. As for the wedding, it will be in 2 weeks. We can discuss the arrangements then. Meanwhile, back in his home city, at the Ford Group's office, an assistant placed an invitation on Liam's desk. Mr. Ford, we're still investigating Miss Miller. This just arrived from the Hudson family. The Hudsons. Liam frowned. The Hudsons rarely sent them invitations. He picked it up and opened it. Groom. Caleb Hudson. Bride. Maya Lynn. Liam stared at the bride's name, a sense of panic rising in his chest. At that moment, Maya opened her phone. Caleb had indeed sent her the villa's address and door code. The man was more thoughtful than she had imagined. He had even considered that she would want to stay with her parents first. Maya looked at the handsome man before her. For the first time, she thought this impulsive marriage might not be a bad choice. The two families had lunch together. The atmosphere was very pleasant. They parted ways in the afternoon. That evening, her parents cooked a feast. After a long time, the family of 3 was reunited. Her father was very happy that night, drank a lot, and became more talkative. Speaking of which, we have a strange connection with the Hudsons. We didn't know them very well at first, but they've been helping us out, both openly and behind the scenes, for the past few years. If it weren't for their help, the Lynn family would have been finished long ago. Maya was surprised. The Hudsons have been helping them all these years. The 3 days passed quickly. On the fourth afternoon, Caleb came to pick Maya up. Maya said a reluctant goodbye to her parents. Her mother looked at the distant Caleb, took Maya's hand, and whispered, "I can see that boy. Caleb really likes you. You should give it a try with him." Maya's eyes were downcast as she looked at Caleb, standing by the car, a small frown on her face. She had a feeling he didn't really like her that much. The car ride was silent. Neither of them spoke, until the car stopped in front of a hospital. Maya tilted her head, confused. "Are you sick?" Caleb's gaze fell on the large hat she was wearing. "You're the one who's injured. I'm taking you for a check up before we go home." Maya was stunned for a moment, a warmth spreading through her, mixed with curiosity. "How did you know I had a head injury?" She had hidden it so well for the past 3 days that even her parents hadn't noticed. Caleb turned his head, his long fingers tapping on the steering wheel, his dark, intense eyes fixed on her pale face. A guess. That day he had picked her up from the airport. She had been dressed impeccably. Everything she wore was in a comfortable, coordinated color scheme. She was clearly a woman who cared about her appearance. The only thing that was out of place was the oversized hat, which covered her entire head but clashed with the rest of her outfit. And when she got in the car, her head had lightly bumped against the door frame. Normally, a light bump wouldn't be very painful, but he had noticed her hiss in pain, as if it had hurt a lot. Maya's eyes widened in disbelief. "Caleb, you're a real detail-oriented person." In a private hospital, on the top floor, a doctor named Henry was already waiting. He looked at Maya, who was following Caleb, with curiosity, and couldn't help but tease. "You made me wait for you all morning, and you're only just now." "Wait, is this the one you've been?" Caleb cut him off with a frown. "My wife, Maya." Henry immediately understood and shut up. He gave Maya a full check up, at Caleb's insistence. Henry was extremely gentle when he changed the dressing on her head. An hour later, the results were in. Henry analyzed them for a long time, then called Caleb out into the hallway, his expression grave. "Caleb, your wife, Maya, not only has a head injury, but she also experienced temporary blindness in her right eye. Fortunately, her vision is gradually recovering. But from what I can see, the wound on her head doesn't look like it was caused by a single impact. It looks more like the result of multiple, deliberate injuries." I asked a friend at a hospital in her home city to pull her recent medical records, and I found some abnormalities. If Maya was hospitalized for a stomach infection, she shouldn't have been given these medications. Based on my years of experience, I suspect your wife was secretly made to donate bone marrow. A surge of anger rose in his chest. Caleb took out his phone and said in a low voice, "Find out everything that happened to Maya recently in her home city." The next morning, Caleb received a call from his assistant. "Mr. Hudson, everything about your wife's recent experiences in her home city has been compiled into a document and sent to you." In his study, Caleb read the document, his handsome face turning cold. The Hudsons and the Fords had been rivals for generations. He, as a member of the younger generation, had never gotten involved in their elders' feuds. But now that his wife, Maya, had been harmed, that was a different matter. "The Fords have been trying to get that shipment from the docks recently. You will outbid them." On the other end of the line, the assistant was silent for a few seconds before asking, "Mr. Hudson, are you saying you want to go to war with the Fords?" "Yes." Meanwhile, in Maya's home city, Olivia had been forced to move back in with her family. She had sent Liam numerous messages, pitifully begging for his forgiveness, but he hadn't replied once. Undeterred, Olivia found the bar Liam frequented and, dressed in revealing clothes, threw herself into his arms. "Liam, I've missed you." Liam looked down and, seeing her face, pulled her off him with disgust. "Get off me." The force of his shove sent Olivia stumbling to the ground. The bar was full of people from their social circle. Some of the girls she had once looked down on were now covering their mouths, snickering. Olivia had never been so humiliated. She scrambled to her feet and stomped out, unwilling to stay a moment longer. The next morning, Liam reviewed the information his assistant had gathered. His handsome face was exceptionally dark, his eyes burning with rage. Not only was Olivia not ghost, but she was also a malicious woman. After receiving Maya's bone marrow, not only had she been ungrateful, But she had also repeatedly harmed and framed Maya. He couldn't imagine what Maya had been through during that time. If it had been him, he probably would have gone insane. Liam's eyes were fierce, a dangerous, murderous aura surrounding him. After a long time, he finally calmed down and slowly picked up his phone. He opened his chat with Olivia and, with a grim face, typed a message. "I'm at the villa. Come over now." Olivia replied almost instantly, her tone full of joy. "Liam, have you forgiven me? I'll get ready and be right there." Liam didn't look at his phone again. He had the servants fill the pool and then add boxes of ice. Half an hour later, Olivia happily walked into the villa. She had clearly taken great care with her appearance, wearing a pure, white dress and a natural, innocent looking makeup. She knew this look was a killer when it came to Liam. Just as Olivia was about to approach him, Liam, who was swirling a glass of red wine, tilted his chin up slightly. Two bodyguards immediately walked over to Olivia and, one on each side, grabbed her by the shoulders. "Miss Miller, Mr. Ford has asked us to take you to the pool." Olivia's shoulders ached from their grip. She had never been treated like this by Liam's staff. She snapped, "Let go of me. What do you think you're doing? I'm your future mistress." The two bodyguards' expressions remained unchanged. They took her to the edge of the pool and mercilessly pushed her head under the water. Olivia's carefully applied makeup was instantly ruined. The icy water rushed into her nose, making her whole body shiver. She swallowed 3 mouthfuls of pool water before her mind cleared. Liam was still angry with her. "Liam, you weren't angry when you called me over, were you? I told you before. I was going to explain that I wasn't Ghost as soon as I got back. But Maya was bullying me, and I was so angry I forgot to tell you. You saw it yourself. I was kidnapped because of Maya. And at the party, my mouth was split open." Sob, sob. Olivia's voice trembled as she cried, as if she had been wronged beyond belief. Liam placed his wine glass on the table and walked over to her, raising his hand slightly. The bodyguards immediately understood and pulled Olivia up. Olivia looked up, and just as she was thinking with relief that Liam had softened, he sneered and, with his foot, pushed her head back under the water. Then, his voice was dark and menacing. "Even now, you're still trying to frame Maya. Olivia, I know everything you've done." The man's voice was ice cold, every word a hammer blow to her heart. She trembled, a wave of fear washing over her, so intense that she forgot to struggle. No, impossible. How could Liam know what she had done? Wait, even if he knew, so what? She was still carrying his child. Liam would, at most, punish her a little. He wouldn't do anything to her. With this thought, Olivia's confidence returned. When Liam removed his foot, Olivia clung to his leg, her whole body shaking as she cried, "Liam, it's because I love you so much. It's because I love you and want a beautiful future with you that I did those things. I'm not a bad person." Sob, sob. Liam raised his foot again, using the tip of his shoe to lift her chin. His dark eyes filled with disgust. "You shouldn't have. After receiving Maya's bone marrow, provoked and harmed her. Olivia, a woman as rotten as you. I feel sick just looking at you." After a pause, Liam kicked her face with the tip of his shoe, his own face a mask of cold indifference. "You like to make people pick things up, don't you? That ring you threw away last time. You haven't picked it up yet. Go get it now." Olivia looked at him with despair, the water from her hair dripping down her face. She was a complete mess. "But I'm carrying your child. Liam, the water is so cold. Something could happen to the baby. Besides, I've been with you for all these years. Don't you have any feelings for our past?" "Huh." Liam almost laughed, his voice dripping with contempt. "Our past. If you hadn't pretended to be Ghost in the first place, do you think I would have even looked at you? Olivia, you've ruined my life. You've ruined my image in Maya's eyes. Do you think I would just forgive you? What are you waiting for? Do it." The two bodyguards grabbed Olivia and threw her into the pool. Olivia could swim, but the water was too cold. Soon, she was shivering uncontrollably. She gritted her teeth and swam to the side. The moment her hand touched the edge of the pool, Liam stomped on her fingers. Olivia screamed in pain and, unable to hold on, fell back into the pool. Soon, a streak of bright red appeared in the clear water. Liam narrowed his eyes dangerously. a small part of the anger in his heart finally dissipating. Maya, do you see? I've already gotten revenge for you. Please come back. Half an hour later, Olivia was taken to the hospital by the bodyguards. She wanted to resist, but Liam had already arranged for the doctors to, no matter what, terminate the pregnancy today. The anesthesia entered her system, and Olivia quickly lost consciousness. When she woke up again, she was lying on a cold hospital bed, her belly empty. Olivia cried until her eyes were red. She had a breakdown, smashing everything in the room: pillows, cups, shoes. The nurse, unable to stop her, had to call Liam. Mr. Ford, if you don't come soon, the room is going to be demolished. Olivia had thought Liam wouldn't come, but to her surprise, he appeared in the room shortly after. He looked at the mess and at the pale Olivia, and said coldly, I still have 2 scores to settle with you. I was going to wait until you had recovered before I dealt with you, but from the looks of it, you're quite resilient. The man's voice was flat, but Olivia's eyes filled with terror. She shrank back on the bed, her fear of the man before her erasing the fury from minutes ago. I haven't recovered yet. Liam slowly walked to the bed, lifted her chin, and said in a low voice, at the party, didn't you deliberately tear your own lip and frame Maya for shoving a jade bracelet in your mouth? Oh, right. And you also hit her on the head with a vase. With that, he clapped his hands. 2 bodyguards brought in a large box. Inside were 10 vases and a half box of jade bracelets. Olivia, guessing what was about to happen, turned pale, her whole body trembling with fear. The next second, she scrambled from the bed and knelt before Liam, kowtowing repeatedly. I was wrong. I was really wrong. I'll publicly apologize to Maya. I'll kneel and apologize to her. Okay, Liam. For the sake of the fact that I just had a miscarriage, please let me go. Let you go. Liam looked down at her, his eyes terrifyingly cold. Olivia, a verbal apology is not enough. You have to experience everything Maya went through before you can even begin to ask for her forgiveness. With that, he looked at the 2 bodyguards. One of them quickly tied her hands, while the other grabbed a handful of jade bracelets and shoved them into her mouth. Olivia struggled desperately, but the bodyguard kept shoving more in. 2 minutes later, both corners of her mouth were torn. Drip, drip. Blood dripped from her chin onto the floor. Olivia's eyes were red with pain, tears streaming down her face. Before, the slightest discomfort from Olivia would have made Liam's heart ache. Now, he just sat on the sofa, coldly watching her suffer. All right, let's settle the next score. Time for the vases. Worried the height wasn't enough, Liam had the bodyguards take her back to the villa. The box of vases was taken to the 2nd floor. On the 1st floor, only Olivia was left, alone. A bodyguard picked up a vase and threw it down. The vase landed squarely on her head. Crash! A heart-wrenching scream echoed through the villa. Olivia's scalp split open, and a thick stream of blood filled the room with its metallic scent. The bodyguard remained expressionless, throwing down one vase after another. Olivia screamed until her voice was hoarse, but Liam never even glanced at her. Finally, all 10 vases had been smashed on her head. Olivia lost consciousness. Liam slowly looked up, his eyes full of malice. Take her back to her family. The moment Olivia was taken away, Ava returned to the villa. She looked at Liam, who was sitting on the sofa, his face dark, and her own expression was not good. I have some bad news. You need to be prepared. Maya probably isn't coming back. I found out she's getting married. The woman the eldest son of the Hudson family is marrying is your ex-girlfriend, Maya. Liam's dark eyes turned cold, and he roared, impossible. Seeing his disbelief, Ava showed him a photo. A paparazzo took this. In the photo, Caleb and Maya were having lunch together. Caleb was holding a napkin, gently wiping a smudge from her face. She's over there. I'm booking a flight to find her now. Ava grabbed him and reminded him. You've been so focused on finding Maya lately. Have you not been paying attention to business? The Hudsons outbid us for that shipment at the docks. It was probably a warning. Liam, you need to think carefully. Are you sure you want to declare war on the Hudsons for Maya? Liam's head was bowed, his handsome face a mask of pain. After a long time, he said, his voice hoarse, Ava, without her, I'll go crazy. Ava sighed and didn't try to persuade him further. Meanwhile, Maya had started to take over her family's business. For the first few days, she was working from dawn till dusk, completely overwhelmed. But she was smart, and with Caleb's guidance, she quickly got the hang of it. Maya reviewed her family's business dealings from the past few years and soon discovered something amiss. Several of the projects that had dragged down her family's business were all connected to a subsidiary of the Ford family. As Maya was analyzing the data, Caleb walked into her office with a lunchbox. Seeing her pale face, Caleb frowned with concern. "What's wrong? You look terrible." Maya pointed to several contracts on her desk. "I don't understand. Why would Liam's uncles and cousins want to harm my family?" Caleb picked up the contracts and, after reading through them, his expression grew grave. "The Fords have always been prone to infighting. They probably thought you were going to marry Liam and tried to weaken your family's position." After a pause, he added, "Logically, with your family's business in decline, Liam must have known. But it seems he wasn't paying attention." Olivia sneered. Liam's attention had been entirely on Olivia all these years. Even when Olivia was abroad, he was still sending her money on a regular basis. How could he have had any time to care about her family's business? But this also proves my parents made the right decision. All afternoon, Caleb helped Maya analyze her family's investment data from the past few years. After getting a clear picture, Maya finally breathed a sigh of relief. "How about we go for a wedding dress fitting tomorrow afternoon?" Caleb invited. "Let's make it the day after tomorrow. I have a meeting with a partner tomorrow." "Okay." These past few days, her time with him had been very pleasant. The man had a high emotional intelligence, and he didn't try to hide his affection for her. This comfortable feeling was 1,000 times better than the one-sided effort she had put into her relationship with Liam. Meanwhile, Liam had arrived in Maya's city. The moment he landed, he had someone investigate her current situation. That evening, Liam looked at the information in his hand, his handsome face exceptionally dark. The report showed that Maya and Caleb were currently living together. They left for work together in the morning and came home together at night, almost inseparable. Liam read the report several times, then threw it on the table. Fortunately, there was no mention of them being married. He still had a chance. It's only been a few days. Maya wouldn't be that impulsive. At that moment, Liam found the president of the U Corporation and made a deal with him. When the U Corporation's president went to the Lin family for a business meeting the next day, he would bring him along. In return, he would support the U Corporation's development in his home country. The next morning, Liam put on a handsome gray suit and meticulously groomed himself from head to toe. He checked his reflection several times, and only when he was sure everything was perfect did he leave. At the Lin Group, Maya had just finished her morning meeting. Her secretary reminded her, "Miss Lin, the president of the U Corporation has an appointment at 10. He's waiting for you in this small conference room." "Okay." Maya took a sip of her black coffee, picked up the documents on her desk, and walked towards the conference room. Inside, Liam was sitting nervously. He was looking at the picture of Maya on his phone's lock screen, his dark eyes full of nostalgia. Soon, the sound of high heels approached, and the conference room door slowly opened. Liam felt as if the whole world had gone silent. He looked at the woman before him with anticipation. She was in a black, professional suit dress, her hair pulled back neatly, a gentle but firm smile on her face. Maya's brow furrowed. Before she could react, the man in front of her had pulled her into an embrace, the scent of mint overwhelming her. Liam held her tightly, his voice trembling. "Maya, I've finally found you." Maya, annoyed, was about to push him away when Caleb, who had come by with some fruit, pulled him off her first. The next second, Caleb pulled Maya behind him. He looked at Liam, his sharp, dark eyes flashing with a cold light, a dangerous, murderous aura surrounding him. "Liam, after everything you've done to hurt Maya, how do you still have the nerve to show your face in front of her?" Liam was stunned for a few seconds. He was about to explain that he had mistaken her for someone else from the beginning. But Maya spoke first, her voice cold. "Wait, Caleb. I'll clear the room first." This was her company, and her employees were on this floor. She didn't want her personal drama to become office gossip. Maya looked at the silent president of the U Corporation, her face cold. "Mr. Yu, from now on, the Lin family and the Yu family will have no business dealings. Please see yourself out." Caleb's face was also cold. The Hudson family will be withdrawing from our partnership with the U family. Please see yourself out. The U Corporation's president's face turned pale. The secretary then made a "please leave" gesture. Soon, only Maya, Caleb, and Liam were left in the office. Liam looked at Maya, who was sitting next to Caleb. His gaze fell on her cold, indifferent face, and his heart felt as if it were being squeezed. A sharp, twisting pain. Before, Maya would always look at him with such tenderness, her watery eyes full of love for him. After a long time, Liam finally spoke. "Maya, I've already taught Olivia a lesson. Will you come back, please?" Caleb sneered. The Fords really were all shameless. How could he still have the nerve to ask her to come back? Maya looked at him coldly and said flatly, "We're over. You must have seen the farewell letter." Liam's eyes were red as he asked, unwilling to give up, "Do you not have any love for me at all anymore?" "No." Maya looked at him, her expression blank, her reply calm. "From the moment I found out you gave my bone marrow to Olivia behind my back, I stopped loving you. Those last 7 days were my detox period. The moment I wrote that farewell letter, I never wanted to see you again." Thinking back, Liam was the first man she had ever loved with all her heart. Influenced by her parents' loving relationship, she had naively believed that if she treated him with sincerity, he would do the same for her. It would be a lie to say she had never loved him. After all, she had stood by him through 5 long, difficult years of his paralysis. But just as she was about to marry him, this man had hurt her again and again for Olivia. Anyone would have found what had happened during that time unacceptable. She even felt a little disgusted by him now, though Maya didn't say anything harsh. Liam's face grew paler and paler. "Liam, no matter how much you beg me now, I will never go back. We've missed our chance. Let's just be strangers from now on." With that, Maya, without looking at his expression, took Caleb's hand and left the conference room. Liam watched her resolute back, wanting to chase after her, but the secretary blocked the door. Liam could only stand there, watching as the two of them left. All day, Caleb stayed in the office with Maya. In the afternoon, as Maya was leaving work, Liam's car followed closely behind. Maya pretended not to see him. That evening, the butler came to Caleb and Maya with a tablet. Hesitating, "Sir, madam, there's a man kneeling at our gate. He's holding a stack of documents and refuses to leave." Maya glanced at the surveillance footage on the tablet. Liam was kneeling at the gate, holding a stack of car contracts in his left hand and a small sign in his right. On it were written 18 words. "Maya, I've ordered 3 of your favorite sports cars. Please forgive me." And to make it even more dramatic, 2 people were holding a banner behind him. On the banner was a line of text. "Please give me another chance. Please give me an X revival card." Maya's brow furrowed, but her heart was unmoved. Just ignore him. The next morning, the weather suddenly turned gloomy, and a heavy rain began to fall. Liam was completely soaked, a pathetic sight, with none of his usual aloofness. When Maya came out, she quickly got into Caleb's car. At the gate, Liam watched the Porsche drive away, his dark eyes full of despair. Before, if he was even slightly down, Maya would be frantic with worry. Now, he had been in the rain all morning, and she hadn't even looked at him. In just half a month, Maya's attitude towards him had changed so much. At the Lynn Group, after her usual morning meeting, Maya's secretary came in with a car contract. A flicker of annoyance crossed Maya's pale face. She thought it was another annoyance from Liam, but her secretary smiled and placed the contract in front of her. "Miss Lynn, this is from Mr. Hudson." Her phone suddenly vibrated. It was a message from her best friend, Chloe. "Maya, Caleb is a keeper. He even called me to ask what kind of sports cars you like. I told him the super expensive Pagani, and he didn't even blink. Just went and ordered it. He's really into you." Maya took a picture of the contract and posted it on her social media with the caption, "Cool car, cool guy." In the afternoon, Caleb took Maya for a wedding dress fitting. Liam followed them into the boutique, his eyes red as he looked at her. "Maya, why won't you accept the cars I bought for you? But you'll accept his." Maya looked at the somewhat pitiful man before her and sneered. "Because I told you I never want to see you again. And so I don't want anything from you. Liam, you've always wanted to marry Olivia and have children with her. Now that I've made way for her, Shouldn't you be rushing to marry her? She had only just realized that when she was taking care of the paralyzed Liam, he was still sending money to Olivia, who was abroad. That kind of devotion. It was almost touching. Liam's dark eyes dimmed, as if the light had gone out of them. He stepped forward, wanting to embrace her. Maya, it was all Olivia's fault. She tricked me into thinking she was Ghost. That's why I was so good to her all these years. Now I know the truth. It's always been you. From the very beginning. I forced Olivia to have an abortion. And I punished her. Can we start over? After a pause. His voice was choked with emotion. Think about it. We were so happy before. Maya was stunned for a few seconds, thinking back to the old days. At first, Liam's mother had looked down on her and disapproved of their relationship. She had always hoped he would marry a girl from a comparable family, but she had always tried to get closer to the man she loved. In those early days, she was never at ease. She was always worried she wasn't good enough for him, that she couldn't hold on to his heart. She was always worried he would go back to Olivia. She was always worried his mother would dislike her. Maya took a step back, avoiding his touch, her face cold. Liam, whether Olivia tricked you or not, you are fundamentally not a faithful person. You were paralyzed for 5 years, and I took care of you for 5 years. I may not have been perfect, but I was there for you. But the moment you recovered and Olivia came back sick, you went behind my back and gave her my bone marrow without my consent. That was a hateful thing to do. You're actually quite cruel and selfish. You didn't care about my life at all. You did all this in secret. And then you proposed to me. It was just because you wanted to have both of us. Tell me, how could I ever love a man who isn't even a real man? Liam's mouth opened, but no words came out. His shoulders drooped, and he looked utterly defeated, like an abandoned puppy. Maya didn't bother with him anymore and turned to go for her fitting with Caleb. That night, Maya received a video call from Chloe. On the call, Chloe pointed to a local news story on her computer. Maya, did you see? The Miller family is in a huge scandal. Olivia watched the video. The local news headline read, Miller family facing bankruptcy. Father sells daughter for business deal. Chloe shook her head and clicked her tongue. Olivia's dad is really ruthless. After the Fords cut off their business ties, and a few other big companies followed suit, the Miller family is just an empty shell. Her dad may not be a good businessman, but he's a ruthless man. To save the family, he came up with the idea of selling his daughter. He announced a starting bid of $1 million, with the highest bidder winning. I heard Olivia tried to run away a few times, but her dad caught her every time. Maya's eyes were downcast, her voice flat. Heaven has eyes. What goes around comes around. She didn't feel any pity for Olivia. The suffering she had endured because of Olivia was far worse than what Olivia was going through now. If she hadn't been lucky, she might have been stuck in a hospital forever because of the bone marrow donation. Meanwhile, Liam still refused to give up. To win Maya back, he started a live streaming account, going live every morning from 9 to 11. The theme of his stream, winning back my ex-girlfriend. The news that the president of the Ford Corporation was live streaming to win back his ex-wife immediately attracted 100,000 viewers. Some netizens, who didn't know the story, were curious about why they had broken up. To show his sincerity, Liam told them everything. But the netizens' reaction was not what he expected. Few offered him advice. Most of them were on Maya's side. Honestly, I'm with Maya on this one. What Liam did, no one could stand for that. I'm so angry. Why did I have to see this stupid live stream first thing in the morning? Crazy ex-boyfriend. Crazy ex-girlfriend. They should just lock themselves away together. Or just die. The comments were full of insults. Liam's face was ashen, but he gritted his teeth and finished the 2-hour stream. The next day, netizens were eagerly waiting for him to go live. To their surprise, the moment he started, he announced that he would give $1 million reward for any good advice on how to get back together. At first, netizens were skeptical, but then they remembered the Ford family's wealth. They immediately changed their tune, from a day of ridicule to a day of offering advice. From what I can see, she's completely heartbroken. You'll only be able to understand how she feels if you go through what she went through. Exactly. Just punishing Olivia is not enough. You were an accomplice. If you ask me, you need to make a formal apology. That's the only way it will count. Liam seriously read through the netizens' suggestions and chose 5 that seemed feasible. For the next 2 weeks, Liam didn't go live. Netizens started to think his attempt to win her back was just a whim. But 2 weeks later, he went live again. In the stream, Liam's appearance shocked the netizens. His head was wrapped in a bandage, his face pale and bloodless, as if he had been through a major ordeal. It turned out that in the 2 weeks he was gone, he had put himself through everything Maya had suffered. After going through all of it, Liam was filled with an overwhelming regret. He looked at the camera. His eyes read, "I finally understand why Maya was so determined to leave me. I really did her wrong." His actions earned him a degree of respect from the netizens who had initially been against him. The tone of the comments changed drastically, though a few remained unconvinced. I have to say, for a super CEO like Liam to be willing to go through all this to win back his ex, I respect him for that. How many rich men are faithful? A man who is willing to change is a good man. Maya should forgive him. I don't agree. I have a source that says Olivia has done a lot of dirty things over the years, and it was always Liam who cleaned up her messes. And during those years, it was Maya who was taking care of the paralyzed Liam. In other words, Liam was too timing her from a long time ago. The last comment was quickly buried under tens of thousands of others. Some netizens started to ship Liam and Maya, even giving them a couple name. Liam continued to go live every day, and the internet was flooded with clips of him talking about his happy memories with Maya. And all of this, Maya saw. She never expected that Liam would try to use public opinion to force her to get back together with him. So, she created a new social media account. That day, she made an announcement. The picture was of her and Caleb's marriage certificate. The caption read, "Something to do, someone to love, something to look forward to." The picture of their marriage certificate immediately went viral. Liam was in the middle of a live stream when he saw the comments section flooding with, "Maya and Caleb just announced their marriage. Wait, isn't Caleb famous for being aloof and uninterested in women? Oh my God, Caleb announced it too. He said he's so happy to have married the girl he wanted to marry since he was a child. So romantic." Liam felt as if he had been struck by lightning. After a few seconds of a blank mind, his trembling hand picked up his phone and clicked on the trending topic. The moment he saw their marriage certificate, he felt as if a bucket of cold water had been thrown over him, chilling him to the bone. But he was still unwilling to give up. He looked at the camera and said, "She was just being impulsive. I'll wait for her to get a divorce." That evening, the news reached Caleb. Before, he had known that Maya no longer had any feelings for Liam and had let him make a fool of himself online. But Liam's, "I'll wait for her to get a divorce," was the last straw. That night, Caleb decided to declare war on the Ford family. The Hudson family announced that any company that voluntarily terminated their contract with Liam could negotiate a new contract with them. Liam also started to compete, drastically lowering his prices on projects that were in opposition to the Hudsons. Their actions immediately sparked curiosity in their social circle. Many families began to gossip. "I heard it's all over a woman. Now the two families are at each other's throats. This is great for the smaller companies. But the Hudsons have always been so refined. This is the first time they've done something like this. His wife is about to be stolen. Wouldn't you be angry?" The feud between the two families became a huge sensation and soon reached Liam's grandfather. He was so angry he left his sanatorium, chartered a private jet, and stormed into Liam's office in Country A. At that moment, Liam was on the phone, competing with Caleb for a new project. The company wasn't big, but the two of them were locked in a silent battle. Liam's grandfather walked into the office and, with his cane, struck him. "You fool, causing all this trouble over a woman. The last bit of dignity between the Hudsons and the Fords has been completely destroyed by you." The old man was so angry his chest heaved, and he could barely breathe. He had been in poor health since last year and had moved into a sanatorium, gradually handing over the reins to the younger generation, especially Liam, who was his favorite grandson and had been given the most power. Even during his paralysis, Liam's achievements had been beyond the reach of his peers. When he heard about what Liam had been up to lately, he had almost fainted from anger. Liam lowered his head slightly, a hint of sadness in his dark eyes. "Grandfather, I'm sorry, but I don't want to give up on Maya. Thwack. The old man's cloudy eyes narrowed, and he struck him again with his cane. He had been a man of few words for a long time, but now he spoke at length. Neil, our two families have been rivals for 100 years because of our ancestors. But we have only ever competed in business and social circles. We have never made such a public spectacle of ourselves. And now you've treated the Lin family's girl like this, making it a public scandal. Where am I supposed to put my old face? Liam had been working non-stop for the past few days, with less than 2 hours of sleep a night. The repeated blows made him dizzy and weak, and he almost fainted. Ignoring the pain, he went to his grandfather and knelt before him, pleading, "Grandfather, please help me meet with Maya. She has a soft heart. If you ask her, she'll definitely come." The old man looked at his usually proud grandson, now kneeling before him, and a complex expression crossed his cloudy eyes. "If the condition for me to arrange a meeting with Maya is to strip you of your position as the Ford family's heir, would you be willing?" Without a moment's hesitation, Liam nodded. "I am." The old man took a deep breath and, under Liam's expectant gaze, nodded. "All right." Liam kowtowed 3 times. As he was getting up, perhaps due to the lack of sleep and the beating, he suddenly fainted. Liam's physical condition had always been excellent. A few blows from a cane would not normally have made him faint. The old man's heart finally softened. He waved his hand, and the butler immediately had Liam taken to the hospital. After Liam fainted, he felt as if he were in a dream. He was back in the temple 5 years ago, with Maya, making a wish. He suddenly embraced the Maya who was writing her wish, saying urgently, "Maya, I'll take you to get our marriage license right now. Let's get married tomorrow." "Okay." "I don't want to marry you. You'll betray me. I'm going to wish that we never meet again, in this life or the next." Liam's tall frame trembled. He grabbed her hand, his eyes red as he pleaded, "I won't betray you. I've already changed." He reached out to hug her, but she stepped back, a cold smile on her face, and then vanished into a puff of smoke. Liam cried out in grief. It was the first time he had ever felt such a heart-wrenching pain. After a long time, he slowly opened his eyes, the pungent smell of disinfectant filling his nose. His grandfather looked at him, his voice hoarse. "I called Maya. She said she would meet with you, but only if Caleb is there. But she's not free for the next few days. She can only meet in 3 days at noon." After a pause, the old man's cloudy eyes narrowed, a powerful aura emanating from him. "Are you sure you want to see her? If you agree, I will publicly announce that you are no longer the heir." "Liam, you are emotionally unfaithful. You can't let go. You are not a good candidate to be the heir." This was the second time his grandfather had asked. Even though Liam knew the consequences of his stubbornness, he still insisted. "Grandfather, I have to see her. I'll die without her." "All right." That night, his grandfather publicly announced that Liam was no longer the Ford family's heir. When Maya heard the news, she was having dinner with Caleb. Chloe had called her. "Maya, did you hear the news? Liam's grandfather just announced that he's no longer the heir." It seems the old man is really disappointed in him. Maya's eyes narrowed, her sipping motion pausing. When her grandfather had called her that morning, he had completely dropped his usual airs. He had first apologized for Liam's behavior, and then sincerely asked her to meet with him one last time, to let Liam give up completely. Maya knew that with the current state of affairs between the two families, if she didn't intervene, the situation would only get worse. So she had agreed to meet with Liam, on the condition that Caleb was there. Maya's eyes were downcast as she said softly, "I heard the old man single-handedly turned the Ford family's fortunes around when he was young. He must be a very good judge of character." On the other end of the line, Chloe was in full agreement. And another piece of gossip. Olivia's father recently sold her to a 50-something-year-old upstart for $7 million. That guy has a beer belly and yellow teeth. Olivia was forced to marry him. I heard she had a few breakdowns on the day of the registration, and the police were even called. And get this, a netizen took a picture of her crying in front of the Civil Affairs Bureau. She was crying so hard. It was so pitiful. Maya hadn't spoken, but Caleb, who was sitting next to her, placed a piece of braised chicken wing on her plate, a small smile on his lips. The pitiful have their own hateful qualities. She may be crying pitifully now, but there will be more for her to cry about later. The meeting was scheduled for 3 days later. Liam didn't waste any time. To show his sincerity, he had a lawyer draft a contract to transfer all his properties and luxury cars to her name. All Maya had to do was sign, and all his assets would be hers. He then researched her current interests and secretly did his homework. By the 3rd day, Liam was up early, dressed and groomed, and went with his grandfather to the meeting. In a private room at a 5-star hotel, Liam waited anxiously, holding a Bugatti purchase contract. The waiter opened the door, and 2 tall figures walked in. Maya and Caleb, hand in hand, were wearing matching, understated gray outfits, exuding a sense of happiness. After sitting down, Maya gave a slight nod to his grandfather. Liam looked at Maya's cold face, and his heart felt as if it were being squeezed. The pain unbearable. Since when did she stop smiling at him? Liam took out the transfer contract and a handwritten page of her preferences, his voice hoarse. Maya, look, I've really changed. I'm sincerely asking you to get back together with me. Can you believe me one last time? Maya glanced at the handwritten paper, then took it and quickly tore it up, looking at him coldly. This paper is torn now. Can you put it back together? Liam's hand clenched, and he spoke with a trembling voice. Everyone makes mistakes. Can't you just give me one more chance? I don't want to. You're not worth it. Maya spoke calmly, thinking back to a month ago. She said flatly, Liam, I really did love you, but now, I really don't. She looked gentle on the outside, and was often one to compromise. But once she made a decision, she would not change it. Even if she hadn't met Caleb after leaving Liam, she would have chosen to be alone. Liam's face grew paler and paler. Maya continued, I really hope, for the sake of the 5 years I took care of you, that you will stop bothering me. We really shouldn't see each other again. With that, Maya, without looking at his expression, turned her gaze to the silent old man. Grandfather Ford, I've said what I needed to say. Caleb will no longer take any action against the Ford family, and I hope you will also remember your promise to me. That day, when his grandfather had called her to ask her to meet with Liam, she had actually made 2 requests. One was to bring Caleb along. The other was to have him keep Liam in check and stop him from bothering her. The old man's cloudy eyes were downcast, a hint of regret in them. He had lived for a long time and was usually a good judge of character. If Maya had married Liam, and Liam had secured his position as heir, the Ford family would have undoubtedly prospered. But alas, it was not to be. The old man took a large red envelope from his bag and handed it to her. Maya, congratulations on your marriage. This is a small token for me. Maya looked at the red envelope, her eyes welling up. In the 8 years she had been with Liam, besides Ava, his grandfather was one of the few Ford family elders who had genuinely accepted her. Maya took the red envelope and said, not humbly, but not arrogantly either, thank you, Grandfather Ford. I'm sorry, I have other matters to attend to, so I'll be leaving now. The old man nodded, a sigh escaping his lips. Outside the private room, Maya had only taken a few steps when Liam came out. He looked at her back and shouted, Maya, can we have one last hug? Maya frowned, about to refuse coldly. But then, a figure suddenly rushed out from the hallway. Olivia saw Maya, her face twisted in a snarl. She strode forward, holding a bottle of concentrated sulfuric acid, and threw it at her. Caleb's brow furrowed. He was about to run over and shield her, but he was too far away, having just been speaking with the waiter about the bill. Liam, seeing what was happening, took a large stride and shielded Maya with his own body. The concentrated sulfuric acid splashed all over his back and head, instantly corroding his skin. An excruciating pain shot through him. Even the usually stoic Liam couldn't help but scream. Maya was stunned for a few seconds. She walked over to Olivia and slapped her hard across the face. Olivia, are you insane? How could you throw acid at someone? If Liam hadn't shielded her, she would have been the one disfigured. Olivia clutched her swollen cheek. She looked at the injured Liam with disbelief, her voice trembling. Why did you block for her? I was trying to throw it at her, not you. Maya frowned and, raising her hand, slapped Olivia hard again. Just wait. The Ford family won't let you get away with this. And neither will I. The ambulance arrived quickly. Before he was loaded in, Liam looked at her with red, Rim dies. His voice weak. Maya, after this, can you forgive me? Olivia looked at the bleeding Liam, and just as she was about to speak, he fainted. 3 days later, Maya received news that Liam's condition was not good. The acid had been poured all over the back of his head. He had developed a severe infection at the hospital and was now in the ICU. As Maya had expected, his grandfather did not let Olivia get away with it. He hired the best lawyers and sued her. And Maya also returned to her home city. She had the housekeeper testify and sued Olivia for deliberately hitting her with the vase. Olivia was ultimately sentenced to 30 years in prison. With all that had happened, Maya was in no mood to prepare for a wedding. Caleb understood and publicly announced that the wedding would be postponed. A few days later, Maya received a call from Liam's grandfather. On the other end of the line, the old man's voice was trembling. Maya, please come see Liam. He's not going to make it. Maya's mind went blank. She looked at Caleb, who was standing beside her. Caleb saw her helplessness and pulled her into his arms, comforting her. Go see him. No matter what he did before, he saved your life. If you see him now, you won't have any regrets later. On the way to the hospital, Maya stared out the window, her mind a jumble of thoughts. She no longer loved Liam. She had even hated him for a while, but he had saved her life. In the private hospital, in his room, Maya looked at the man on the bed. He was as thin as a rail, his face as pale as a sheet. His breathing was very weak. Seeing Maya, Liam suddenly smiled. It was the first time he had smiled in days. He beckoned her over, patted her hand, his voice extremely weak. Maya, don't cry. I'm sorry. I was wrong before. I'm sincerely apologizing to you now. Don't feel guilty about my leaving. If you can you hug me one more time? Maya bent down and gently embraced him, her voice hoarse. Don't die. Your grandfather still needs you. Liam chuckled softly. He looked at Caleb, who was standing outside the window, then at Maya with reluctance. Happy marriage, my Maya. I sincerely hope you'll always be happy. Maya left the room in tears. Caleb was standing in the hallway. He embraced the trembling Maya. Don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. That night, the Ford family issued an obituary, announcing Liam's passing. 3 days later was his funeral. Maya and Caleb went together. In the crowd, the two of them were dressed in black. Maya looked at Liam's coffin. Her eyes read, "When you're reincarnated, find a better girl. Liam, I wish you happiness in your next life." 6 months later, Maya and Caleb had their wedding. The venue was decorated in a racing theme, a surprise Caleb had been planning for 2 months. Caleb had followed Maya's wishes for the wedding. He hadn't invited any business associates, only close friends and family. As the bride and groom were making their rounds, Caleb's mother looked at the wedding dress, clad Maya with satisfaction, and gently patted her hand. Don't be in a hurry to have children. Caleb even told us the other day that if you don't want to, we're not allowed to pressure you. Maya turned her head and looked at the handsome man beside her. He was in a black suit, his features sharp and handsome. When he saw her looking at him, he gave her a warm smile. A warmth spread through Maya's heart. Mom, we'll see. When Maya went to her own mother's side, she was already dabbing at her eyes with a small handkerchief. When you were 3, I knew this day would come. But now that it's here, I'm still so reluctant to let you go. Her usually composed father's eyes were also red. Maya looked at her parents, a little amused. Caleb was very thoughtful. The marital home he had chosen was very close to her parents' house. Only a 10-minute drive. Helpless, she could only say, "I'll come home for a few days every month." That day, the news of the Hudson and Lynn family's wedding immediately became a trending topic. Netizens flooded social media with their blessings. Sob sob. I heard Mr. Hudson was Maya's childhood crush. So jealous. That's because Maya was brave enough to cut her losses. That 8-year toxic relationship. Not everyone can just let go like that. Mr. Hudson is so warm and thoughtful. I heard the wedding was decorated according to Maya's preferences. Another day of envying someone else's relationship. Hey, Mr. Hudson is giving away money on another platform. Quick, use the code to grab some. A week later, Caleb accompanied Maya to the prison where Olivia was being held. After speaking with the warden, Maya soon saw Olivia. She was in a loose, fitting prison uniform. She had lost a lot of weight. Her eyes were sunken, and she had large dark circles. Her once envied long black hair was now frizzy and dry. When Olivia saw that her visitor was Maya, a surge of anger rose in her. She looked Maya up and down, desperately trying to find some sense of superiority. But the Maya before her was glowing, and under Caleb's loving care, she radiated 2 words: happiness. Olivia couldn't find a single flaw in her. She dug her nails into her palms, her face full of unwillingness. Why? Why did she have to spend 30 years in prison, while Maya was free and happy? Sensing Olivia's jealous gaze, Maya took out the Lin Group's recent financial report and showed it to her through the glass. See, after a year of my efforts, the Lin Group is back in the black. After a pause, she took out her phone and showed her a picture from her wedding a week ago. Caleb and I got married. I have to thank you. Really. If you hadn't been so diligent in sharing your videos and telling me all the things Liam did for you, my resolve to leave him might not have been so strong. TSK. Who would have thought? I married my childhood crush. And when the netizens found out, they all sent their blessings. Maya's voice was full of a small, proud boast. Caleb looked at his little wife, his handsome face full of adoration. He had never seen this people off side of Maya before. His little wife was so cute. Olivia's eyes were burning with jealousy. In her eyes, Maya had never been her equal. She was the one who had left Liam, and Maya had only taken advantage of the situation to be with him for a short time. But why was this mediocre woman able to get Liam to shield her from acid? And now Caleb wanted to marry her. Olivia narrowed her eyes and sneered. Maya, no matter how much you show off, you can't deny one thing. I have your bone marrow. That's how I'm alive right now. At night, when you think about it, you probably can't sleep from the anger, right? A flicker of anger crossed Caleb's dark eyes. Just as he was about to lose his temper, Maya grabbed his hand and gave it a gentle squeeze. Then, she smiled at the triumphant Olivia behind the glass. You have no conscience at all. That's a relief. I heard you've been bullied in prison. What if I were to meet with that large female inmate later, too? Look out for you. Before Maya could finish, Olivia's face turned pale. She glared at Maya and screamed, "You dare!" Maya turned to Caleb, and they exchanged a smile. Before coming to the prison, they had done their research. Olivia was not having a good time in prison. The female inmates, after finding out she was in for throwing acid at Liam and for harming the person who had given her bone marrow, had started to ostracize her. And that large female inmate's favorite pastime was to force Olivia to reenact a car race. You call yourself Ghost. Show me what you've got. Every time she was called, Olivia would get up and perform, crying. Maya's red lips curved into a wide smile. Of course. I dare. Olivia, you'd better stay alive. I'll be visiting you every few months. With that, ignoring Olivia's screams from behind her, Maya turned and spoke with the warden, asking to visit an inmate named Chloe Chen. That night, when Olivia was forced to reenact a car race, a new layer of difficulty was added. The large female inmate, Chloe, barked at her. Miss Lin said, Ghost can do a dragon's tail whip and can also drift around corners. Come on. You call yourself Ghost. Show me what you've got. 3 years later, Maya was in labor. Caleb was waiting outside the delivery room, holding a bouquet of sunflowers. 5 hours later, the baby was brought out first. Caleb didn't even look at the baby. Even his mother didn't look at the baby. She grabbed the nurse's arm, her voice tense. How's my daughter? In-law. It was the first time the nurse had ever seen a mother-in-law so concerned about her daughter-in-law. After a moment of shock, she said, Don't worry. Mother and son are both fine. The mother is right behind. When Maya was finally wheeled out, Caleb rushed over. He looked at Maya on the bed, her face pale and weak. And for the first time in front of her, his eyes reddened. Maya, I'm getting a vasectomy tomorrow. We're not having any more children. His mother's eyes also reddened, and she wiped away a tear. That's right. No more children. It's too much to go through.